In the previous videos, we've learned how we can return and remove item from the array by using array shift and array pop functions. There's also unset function, PHP function, which allows us to actually remove items from the array without returning them. So it's just basically like a delete kind of option for the array or variables. So if we go to the php.net and in search, let's type unset, and you can see the first item that pops in is here. If we open a page, we have unsets, basically unset a given variable, because obviously arrays are stored within the variable, as you know, $sign and some name equals array or square brackets. So basically what it does, it destroys the specified variables, and that also applies to the arrays. So if we go back to our editor, continuing from our previous example, if we just remove this array splice here, and let's use this unset function and specify languages. We're going to specify, basically provide the argument as the entire array. If we now save it and preview everything in a browser, if we go back to our php-course.dev, if I now refresh the page, you can see unspecified variable languages. What's happened basically is that this specific unset function has completely unset this languages variable, meaning it's no longer available for this line here with the printer. It just doesn't exist anymore. But we don't quite want to remove the entire array. We only want to remove the specific index, specific item from this array. And removing items from the array using the unset function, for this specific purpose, you have to specify the index. As you can see, this is in the multidimensional array. We haven't strictly defined the indexes for it, but as you know, behind the scenes, PHP puts the default indexes basically. So for this first item, it will be 0 because arrays are 0, basically starting from 0. Then we have for French 1, for German it's gonna be 2, and so on. So if we want to remove English from this array, we need to specify languages, then brackets, square brackets, and 0. If I now save it, and if we preview everything in a browser, refresh the page, you can see we have our array, but English is now gone. But one thing that you should have already noticed, perhaps, is that it did not reset the indexing. As you can see, this array doesn't now start from 0. 0 is gone, but French still is associated with index 1, German with 2, and so on. So if we now try and remove another language, because you can provide multiple arguments for the specific function, let's use languages again. And now which one do we want to use? Remove basically, let's say we want to remove German. It's going to be 0, 1, index 2 for German. So if we type in 2 in between the brackets, save it, and go back to the browser, refresh it, as you can see, German is gone and indexes stay unaffected. So we've got 1, straight away we go to 3, and then we've got 4. Again, if we go back to the editor, we can provide another one. Let's say we want to also remove Polish, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 index. So if we specify 4 in between the brackets, go back to the browser, refresh, and we only have 2 languages left. So that's how you remove items from the array using the unset function. The same applies to the multidimensional array, basically. So if we, let's say, specify index en for English, then fr for French, German, de, and then we have es for Spanish, and then pl for Polish. So now if I want to remove items from this associative array, I just need to specify the relevant indexes. So for English it would be en, for German would be de, and for Polish would be pl. And if we save it and preview everything in a browser, refresh, you can see everything is the same. Obviously indexes are reflected now accordingly because we obviously changed them, but the same items have been removed. So either using numerical indexes or manually defined ones, basically the rule how you actually removing them is exactly the same.